In just a few days, we who live in the Northern Hemisphere are going to be marking the beginning of autumn. This is a common word that we use to mark the autumn equinox, which is one of two times on the wheel of the year where the amount of daylight and the amount of darkness are equal on that day and will change depending on the time of the year. In the autumn, following the equinox, the days grow gradually darker and darker and darker until Yule in December when that is our darkest day of the year. Of course, the opposite would be true in spring at Ostara, where the days will grow increasingly lighter until the beginning of summer. One way that I like to mark the beginning of the darkness, the beginning of the increasing darkness following the autumn equinox, is by increasing the amount of protection that I keep on my property and on myself. I suggest that you do this too. Now, for those of you who think this is not possible because you maybe do not have your own space, or maybe because you still consider yourself to be in the closet, I want to show you in this video why those do not need to apply to you any longer. Greetings! I'm not trying to be insensitive to anybody, and I do understand that probably the majority of you are in one of these situations where perhaps you do not have enough of your own personal space, private or otherwise, to practice your magic the way that you would like to. And I realize when you watch people like me here on YouTube that you might say, oh, you're so lucky because you have a big house and a property and you live with another witch. You're not in the closet and you can be very open about your practice. That is true, I can be. But I'm here to show you that there's really nothing magical about keeping your magical practice a secret. I do try to offer alternative ways in most of my videos when I'm showing you how to do things. I like to, maybe offer some alternatives to those of you who do not have the same situation as I do. Maybe you don't have the space. Maybe you don't have a big garden. You can't be out in the yard digging up your yard, to put out witches' jars for whatever reason. Maybe you don't even have a yard. So I've showed you ways that you can do so in plants and other things like that. We're going to go into some of that a little later in the video. But I want to say that the first thing I want to address is the idea about being in the closet. This is a term that kind of, it's very commonly used here on YouTube, and I don't know what it really is. I'm not sure what it really means, because I want to tell you that your magic is your own business. Your magic is nobody else's business. And I want to say that my magic is public because I make it public. I'm here on YouTube. I'm here on YouTube telling people on YouTube, oh, I'm a witch and I do these things. But I'm going to tell you, my practice is very private to me as far as my neighbors or my friends or my relatives go. I don't recall ever really going out to any of these people, that it's none of their business and saying, hi, I'm Rebecca and I'm a witch. I just don't say that. I don't say that. I try to be sensitive to everybody's situation and their ideas of what maybe that might be. And I'm going to say, even though I'm sure my children know that I'm a witch and I consider myself a witch, I have never said that to them. I've never used the term, and they've never used the term back with me. They never have. They know I read tarot. Everybody knows I read tarot. They think what they want about that. I'm not sure. My parlor where I am seated right now is a private room in my house. The door is kept closed. The only people that enter this room are people that I invite in here. And it's not because I said keep out private room. It's because my door's closed. And I don't know about you, but I was raised when the door is closed. You don't just go barging in. If it's your bedroom or whatever room it is, bathroom, that means that you're not really welcome in that room right now. And I have quite a few rooms like that in my house from time to time where I just close the room off, and that means, just don't go in there, and people don't. I don't advertise things. I don't tell I have things, yes, I do have things that are not hidden necessarily, but trust me, people just don't notice. They just do not notice. So unless you're going to make a big deal about it yourself, I think a lot of that is really not necessary. You don't really have to worry about it, in my opinion. That's my opinion. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but that's just what I think. But regardless of whether you consider yourself in the closet or not, I'm going to offer you seven different categories of ways that you can do protection spells, really, on very commonly that I use all the time, that nobody would know they are actually protection spells. So, regardless of your own situation, you should be able to adapt some of the things that I show you, if not all of the things I show you, to your own situation, whether you have your own personal space or not, whether you are in the closet or not. The first category that I'm going to give you today is probably the easiest one. It's a no brainer, and that would be incense or essential oils. Okay, these are so commonly used today by everybody, which or not. Some people use things for aromatherapy. Some people just to be honest, like the smell of things. Um, Many years ago, I traveled to Germany with my husband, who had to meet with Airbus for work, and we wandered into a little shop, and I found a little smoking um, Saint Nicholas, or a little Santa figure. I think it was a Saint Nicholas figure that holds incense, and he's so cute. He blows the smoke out. He has a little pipe. He holds a little pipe, and he blows the smoke out of his mouth. And it's made for incense. The whole shop was full of things like that, and um, I've been burning that for years and years and years. And if I didn't have that little figure, that little incense burner out at Christmas time, my children would question me. They never questioned it was about a witch. It wasn't about being a witch. It was about, incense. I know a lot of people who burn incense just because they like the smell. Some people are a little sensitive to incense, so particularly those, and I've done videos on this before, that are not natural, that are made with synthetic oils and perfumes. Those are not so good. If you can acquire some that are made naturally, like the ones that I make, all the better. But if not, essential oils might be a perfect option for you. We right now burn essential oils. We have a little diffuser that diffuses essential oils out where our cats sleep, to keep them calm at night. Um, we have My daughter uses one to help her sleep. People use them for all different reasons, so you could use them magically as well. If you're looking for good herbs or good essential oils for protection, you might want to look at things like, for incense, you might want to look at bayberry or dragon's blood or frankincense, jasmine, patchouli, rosemary, woodruff. Those are just some of my favorites. For essential oils, you might want to look at things like pine or rosemary. Again, patchouli, peppermint is really good. Use what you like. Use what make sure you use something that is appealing to you, and you can do your research easily on the internet. Just look for properties, some of the magical properties, or of different herbs, or look for things that are good for protection, good protection herbs, or good protection essential oils. And you'll see a list and list, and then just pick from the list something that you like. So I really don't have to show you anything there today. The second category of protection items that you might want to choose from are things that are very common to people who garden or like plants or who do a lot of cooking, and that would be herbs and flowers, okay? Different plants. Now, these can be things that are in your garden, and I have shown you how I have at my back door a giant rosemary bush, which offers me great protection. In my front garden, I have, coming onto the property, I have California white sage, but I also have sage growing in my garden as well. Things that you can grow in your garden, and especially if you keep them up near your door or by your windows, it's a really good place to grow things. Dill, fennel, marjoram, mint, mugwort, mustard, parsley, rosemary, rue, sage of all kinds, woodruff again, vervain. These are really good herbs. You can also grow angelica, anise, basil, um, garlic. Ivies are really good for protection. Lilac or marigold, depending on where you live. Marjoram, nettle is really good protection herb. So you can use it. You can have them in the garden. You can take the plant itself and put it in your kitchen and as a pot form. I grow basil in my window all year long and some other things. It's really good to do. If you're not able to do that, you can hang bundles of herbs. Now, whether they're things that you grew yourself or they're things that you just acquire from the grocery store and bundle them and hang them. And I will show you a little spell you can do. Is if you want to go further and create a spell, you can do that, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. The herbs are good. Put your intention in them. Bundle them with a red thread if you can. That's really good for protection. And a lot of people use those just for use in the kitchen. You'll just, take it from, they have it hanging and drying, and as it dries, they will take it and use it for cooking. Some people like it to absorb odors, cooking odors in their kitchen, so that's very common that they use them for that. And other people just use them for decoration. It looks really pretty in kitchens to see herbs hanging or flowers hanging. So nobody needs to know that it's a spell. Nobody needs to know it's there to protect you. It's just hanging, so nobody's going to question that you have that in your own kitchen or by your own windows. I conjure thee protective herbs on this day and in this hour to be a protection and safeguard against all adversity and evil. Protect well this house and all who dwell within. I conjure thee protective herbs on this day and in this hour to be a protection and safeguard against all adversity and evil. Protect well this house and all who dwell within. I conjure thee protective herbs on this day and in this hour to be a protection and safeguard against all adversity and evil. Protect well this house and all who dwell within. As I will, so mote it be. The third type of spell, protection spell that you might want to use, are something that involves stones or crystals. This is a no-brainer. You know how much this means to me. Right now you see that I'm wearing my bracelets, my identical bracelets that I keep for balance, which this time of the year I'm always trying to keep myself in balance. Light and dark, when the light and dark is balanced. It's a really good time to renew my own balance. But you see that I use bracelets all the time. You watch any video pretty much and I've got my bracelets on. I talk about them all the time. And I wear them for intention. I do wear them for intention. I have different stones that work really good for me. But I want to tell you that I just went out with some friends last weekend and they are not witches and they were wearing, they're wearing stones and bracelets too. People wear them. They're very fashionable. Bead bracelets are very common. Also, if you're lucky enough to have any gem shows near you, they travel around to different places where you can go and buy wonderful crystals and gems. You can get really lovely buys, and people, trust me, these are very heavily attended, and those are not all witches. These are just people. But I get big things like this at some of them. I have for really good prices. I have a giant, I can't really reach it. Let me see if I can reach it. A giant clear quartz that I bought at I think I bought this in Quartzsite actually. But it's really good. I keep it here on the table. I charge it here in the window, keep it charged, but I also will take this from time to time and put it out in my garden when I'm struggling, anybody's struggling in the garden. But this is a snowflake obsidian, which I keep on my table all the time to keep negative energies away from my reading table. But also, You see me wearing bracelets of snowflake obsidian all the time. I either have bracelets that are just made just of this, or I put some of the snowflake obsidian stones on other bracelets, which, while it's drawing in good energies to me, it blocks the negative energies. This is very common and nobody questions. I've been wearing bracelets like this for years and years, and nobody ever questions it. Nobody ever says, "Are you a witch that you're wearing those bracelets?" No, they don't. They don't. Crystals are really good too. I want to just to give you some caution. When you're buying stones and crystals and things, go to a reputable source and make sure they're actually stones or they're not plastic, especially when you're talking about bracelets. Okay. One way you can tell, one simple way you can tell, our stones are cold. If you pick up stones and hold them, they feel cold. They're cold. Plastic feels warm. Plastic, I just have plastic here on my scissors, but it's just different. It feels warm. It feels warm compared to stone. But if you go to a gem and crystal show, these people are very legitimate, and you know you can get them there. Some particular stones that you might want to look at if you aren't sure. Of course, you can do your research. But one of my favorites is amber. I love amber. I use amber in a lot of things. It's the witch's stone. It's called the witch's stone. But one thing it is also known for as being a gentle protector. It blocks negativity, but it does not give out negativity. So if you're worried about, some things people worry about, and we'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about some other spells, they seem to worry about blocking negativity. If you block negativity, maybe it sends the negativity elsewhere, unwarranted. Well, amber will not do that, and amethyst will not do that, because whatever negative comes to amethyst, it is converted to positive energy. It's like a filter. So amethyst is really good, and it's very popular. My daughter has an amethyst big stone near her. When she sleeps, it helps her to sleep, and I know it's also protecting her while she sleeps. Carnelian, smoky quartz, citrine, jade, jasper, diamond, malachite, black obsidian, tiger's eye, which is really good. Tiger's eye protects you against. Do I have tiger's eye here? I think I have it in another place in here. I have it over there. I can't get it. But tiger's eye is really good, because tiger's eye will help protect you against particularly hexes. If anybody's really trying to wish you intentional harm, a tiger's eye is really good to have in place. So you can use those in anything, any kind of jewelry, or just the stones themselves. You can do bracelets or a necklace or rings or something like that. I have amber in a ring. You see me wearing that from time to time. I have amber bracelets. You see me wearing this from time to time. It's the amber ring. And I have bracelets made up of amber that you see me wear, or just use the stones. The next category is using amulets or talismans for protection. And this is a rather broad category, and there's a lot of things you can do with these. This is really a wonderful way, because, first of all, let's talk about the difference between amulet and talisman. Sometimes they're confused. Both are used for whatever intention you put in them, mostly for protection or for luck, some kind of a charm. Consider them a charm. An amulet is something that is lucky on its own. It has those properties on its own. Think about a rabbit's foot. A rabbit's foot is known for good luck, right? You don't have to do anything to it. You can just carry it. Of course, I would do something to it. First of all, I wouldn't carry a rabbit's foot, but I know a lot of people who do and have in the past. That was very commonly used when I was a young girl. People used rabbit's foots all the time for protection or for good luck. And when I'm using the term interchangeably, because if something is going to bring good luck, it's going to block out the bad luck. It's going to block out the negativity. By blocking out the negativity, it allows for the good to come through. Okay. So an amulet is anything. Another thing is an amulet could be things that you want to carry with you. A lot of people, four-leaf clover, think about that as good luck. A lot of people think that as good luck. But also things like, I like to think about things my husband carries in his pocket. He always carries some things in his pocket. Every time he puts on a new pair of pants, he puts them up on the dresser, and then he puts them down in his pocket. He carries all the time. They were given to him for whatever reason. An acorn, he has an acorn in his pocket all the time. Acorns are really good for health. They bring good health. They keep sickness away, right? That's one thing. They'll protect you against illness, very particularly. There is a good spell some people use with an acorn. They will go out in the fall, this time of the year, when the trees are dropping their acorns. The oak trees are dropping the acorns, and the first one that they see, they pick up and they carry it with them through winter, like my husband does, and for protection. And then in the spring, they return it to nature, thanking it again for its service and allowing it to be. They will then repeat it when the year comes around. They will then repeat it when the wheel of the year goes around again, coming up to the dark part of the year again, when the acorns are being dropped. Gather an acorn and do the same. Repeat it. Another thing you can carry, people very commonly put a bay leaf. It's been used for so many things. I don't know. I got it where that came from, but I do know people put bay leaves in like flour to keep bugs away. So maybe it came from that. The idea came from that. I'm not sure. A buckeye. Garlic clove will repel evil. Think about the garlic that repels the vampires. I don't know. I don't think I'm good. I love garlic. I eat so much of it, but I'm not going to carry garlic with me. That's not so friendly. Again, horn, some kind of horn, is supposed to ward off the evil eye. I don't usually carry animal parts, but some people do. Of course, horseshoe we talked about. Mustard seeds are really good. You can tuck a mustard seed somewhere in your pocket. There's a lot of other things I see on my list here. Scarabs. When I was a young girl, one of my friends gave me a scarab bracelet for a birthday present. I've had it for many years, probably almost 60 years. I bet I've had it. Now, a talisman is different than an amulet. A talisman is something that you create as a good luck charm or as a protection charm. And this is where we come into today's subject. You can take anything you have. For instance, I have this amber ring. I can take the amber ring and I can enchant it. I can make this work for me. Okay, I can make it into a talisman by using a spell to ask it to work for me as a matter of protection or as a matter of whatever. This actually is a ring that I have done that in ritual with my coven. Use this ring. So it actually does have some special powers for me. But when I wear it, it's just a ring. Nobody notices what it is. You can do that with anything. You don't have to have a special jewelry. You can use, I noticed that I said earlier, a diamond. A diamond is a very good stone for protection. And a lot of people who are married or engaged, having used a diamond ring as an engagement ring, have those rings. You can use the ring that you wear all the time and put special protection on that. It works really well. What I have here on list, I was just looking to see. I have for diamond, it's not just protection, but it also can avert unseen danger. Things that you're not aware of, it will avert that. So it's really sharp. It's very keen, the sharpness of a diamond. So that's a really good one to enchant if you have that. Okay, so you can do a very simple protection spell, or you can do something a little more elaborate. And I will show you here a repeat of a video I did, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 7 years ago, of creating an amulet for return to sender spell. And I'm going to do a little bit with that again today. I will refer you to the old video too so that you can see how I did it originally. But I took a simple object and I created a talisman for protection that only I know about, that only I know what it is. Something that nobody will see. The next category of protection would fall under the heading of witches' jars, bottles, and balls. I've showed you jars a number of times. We keep them, we plant them in the yard. I've showed you how you can take that and I've showed you how you can put it inside a potted plant if you don't have a big yard. But also a simple way to do it is to make one that goes inside your house. It is done a little bit differently, and I will show you now how I do it, but using something very inconspicuous like, here I'm going to be using a pickle jar. And I'm going to tell you, not only are they very inconspicuous, I have gone into my cupboards, my very own cupboards, numerous times where I wouldn't, rearranging the kitchen or remodeling the kitchen, and I had to get everything out of the cupboard, including the stuff that's way back in the back of the cupboard. And I pulled out a jar going, what in the world is this? Thinking it was some food that I forgot that was in there. It was actually a witch's jar. It was actually a witch's jar that had in there for protection. The difference is a little different than the ones that we put outside, and I will show you how it is different. A witch's ball is normally used with it can be a bottle, it can be anything, but it is usually used, very often used an empty ornament, the little empty ones that you can buy in a craft shop to put in things to decorate for your Christmas tree, or your tree. But these are very popular forms of luck. They bring in luck. A lot of people make them to draw in good. They will be hanging by a window, and they're meant to draw goodness in. Now, you can do the same. You can make one that draw goodness in, but it doesn't matter what you put in it. If you put in whatever you want to put in, it's up to you. So you can do the same thing and put things, instead of just drawing luck in, you can put some things in to keep unlucky things out, to keep evil things out, to keep things that might harm you out, negative energies out. Nobody's going to ask you. So, you've seen me make one. I made one before as a housewarming gift. I think I did a video on, but also that's something that I will be making in the future. We're definitely for on our bus. But in the meantime, I'll just show you the you the idea of how you would go about doing that. You have seen me many times make witches' jars and that I plant out in the yard. But I wanted to show you, first of all, what I meant by a witch's ball. Here is I think you've even seen me make one of these before. This is one that a friend happened to make for me for Yule, which she put some beautiful things in there that they're all dried, but it was meant to be hung to bring a good luck into the new year. But I can see that she had some things in here which are really good items for protection as well. So you can put anything in these. You can buy these at a craft shop very easily, and you put in exactly what you want and hang it either in your window or somewhere in your house. Okay, it's really simple to do. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I would use if I wanted to make a witch's jar or a bottle for inside my house. And then here I just have an empty jar of pickles. Empty jar of pickles. Took the pickles out, put them in something else. And this is really lovely to put anything you want in here, okay? And I just have a few things that I would put in, like some of the things are pretty common to what we have used before. I have, first of all, we just happen to have some broken glass that happened actually yesterday. So I'm going to put some broken glass in here, which is very, very sharp. Okay, I have a jar. I collect rusty nails. My husband collects these for me when he takes them out of old projects or whatever. So I take a rusty nail or two and put them in there. I think I'll put two. Bent ones are good, any kind of good. You can get those out of old things all the time. Okay. Hair, I put hair all the time in my witch's jars. This is hair from my hairbrush. I don't clean my hairbrush very often because I like to collect my hair. When I do, I collect it for things like this. But I just clean the hair out of my brush. It's all tangled, and I'm sorry if that's gross for you. Trust me, it's very clean. I put that down in the jar. Other things that would tangle, I will break up some thread. I'll just get a lot of thread. It's really good if it gets tangled up. And it will tangle up with the hair. That's really lovely. That'll just be a tangled mess with the hair. Okay. I often use cat claw. I told you I collect cat claw. I don't have as many as I used to because I cut them. I trim their claws now. But we still find these around. I don't trim their back ones. These are from their 3 is enough. You find them around, and these are really very magical because remember, a cat keeps their claws hidden until they need to use them, and then they come out. So they're really lovely to use and stuff like this. I stick those in there. You notice one thing is not in this jar, and that is I don't put any urine in here or anything like that because this is going to go in my house. But whatever I want to put in here, I just fill this. I can put some herbs in here too. I can put anything I want. But the idea is this is stuff for me. This is my cat's claws. This is my hair. Okay. If I had fingernails, I would put them in there, but I cut my fingernails yesterday, so I really don't have any. But I can always add to this, okay? And the rusty nails and things. And then this is just kept in the back of my cupboard. In the darkest, out of reach place where nobody ever will see it. That's where I keep this. To provide me for protection. Any bad energies will go in here and be trapped, and this will give me the protection that I will need in my kitchen. One of the very simplest categories of magical protection would be oils or washes, which are truly, absolutely, 100% private. Nobody knows what you're doing. You have seen in the past, I've shown you how I make cascarilla powder, or simply called eggshell powder. I have a video on that. A lot of people don't like to use the term cascarilla powder. I use it usually because people search for it. People who know what it is are always searching for it, and I have it available. But it is nothing more than eggshell powder, and I have it because I feed eggshell powder small pieces of eggshell back to my hens as a source of calcium. So I just have it anyway, and some of that I take it and further reduce to a powder. And then that can be used as a special wash for protection. You can simply add it into your scrub water, whatever you use to clean your house, clean your floors, or clean your windowsills. It's really good to use. I will make up a bucket of, your normal cleaning solution if you want, or you can just make it just its own, just with water, and put some of the powder in with the water and into the water, whether you have soap in there or not, and then scrub your front hall floor, or wipe down the windowsills and the windowsill and the frame of your windows, wipe down the door frames from the doorways leading into your house. It's a good way to protect. I didn't know if I needed to show this to you or not, but I wanted to. I saw somebody the other day using what they thought was eggshell powder. It's still good, but if you're going to go buy eggshell powder, this is how it should be fine. I don't know if you can see this. This is what I sell. It's a big bag of it. Maybe I can show you better. It's very fine. Can you see that? It is ground up very, very fine. It's like almost like it looks like almost like sugar, And so I use the spice blender. You can grind it up with a mortar and pestle, but it works best once it gets to a certain size, and then put it in a little spice or coffee grinder, something small, to get it really nice and fine. Because this is the way you want it if you want to dissolve it and put it into a wash. Oils. We talked about oils. I have protection oil that any kind of protection oil will do. I show you how to make several of those here on this channel. Or you can buy oils from me. I sell them too. Or you can buy them from other people. But the idea is there's protection in the oil. Now what I do is all of my candles that I purchase, that I use, whether I make them or buy them, are odorless. They do not have any fragrance. They're fragrance free. Because I want to choose the fragrance that I use. And if their fragrance have fragrance in them, it's usually an artificial perfume or an artificial something substance, oil or something in there that makes that smell. They're very often not made with essential oils. Sometimes they are. Depends on the quality of candle. It's just simpler to get them yourself and to dress the candle with your protection oil. And then when it burns, it releases its own scent of protection. You can do that to any candle you have in your house. Okay. Now, yes, you could. If it doesn't mean that much to you, you could just go and buy a candle with the fragrance that you want. But keep again, what are the magical properties? And if you dress the candle yourself with the oil of your choice, you're putting that intention into the candle, and it's going to work much better for you than if you purchased it already made with questionable ingredients. Okay. So those are two very, very simple ways to use oils and washes in your magical protection. The last category is one that you've seen me use the most probably, and that is purses and sachets. And the reason I kept this for last is because I want to show you how we can make a simple, rather than hang up the purses or hang up the sachets like I do. You see me hang them over my doors or over my windows or on my hen house or wherever I hang them. That's really good, except if you want to keep it truly secret, when I make I'm going to show you how I'm going to make I'm going to make a talisman that is a return to sender spell at the same time, and I'm going to use my purse, the idea of a purse, a witch's purse, inside of that. And I've shown you how to do this before, but you can do this anyway. You do not have to hang your purse up where everybody can see it. There's a lot of ways you can kind of hide it. You can tuck a purse. For instance, I have beside my front door an old-fashioned crock, an antique crock, a couple of feet tall, that it sits there right inside the front door, and we use it to hold our umbrellas. If we ever use an umbrella here, that's where they live. Okay, so once we can grab an umbrella if we need to right by the door. So there's nothing other than that. It's an empty crock. It'd be very, very easy to tuck a purse down inside that crock. It's dark glaze. You would never see it. Never see it in a million years. Use your imagination. Use your imagination where people are just not going to look. Okay. But if you think they're going to look, either wear the purse yourself, wear it on yourself, on your purse in some way, or do what I'm going to show you and make some kind of a talisman and hide it, that you can hide easily, that it can be right out in front of somebody and people don't know what it is. I wanted to show you quickly how you can make an easy talisman for a good return to sender spell that you can carry with you. I made a video of this a long time ago of these. I bought them at the dollar store. This one I think I got on Amazon, but it's just got a travel hairbrush, a mini travel hairbrush. And the reason we wanted it was because it has, when you open it up, it has the mirror. And the mirror is good for return to sender spell, okay? And what it has is this little rubber thing down here, and if I push on it, the brush pops up, and you can see the little bristles for the brush, okay? So in order for me to turn this into a talisman, I want this to be a little hidden pocket. So I just take my scissors. It's very simple because it's all plastic, and I just I just start cutting them off. There you have it. As you can see, I have little stubbles. Hope you can see there. I can little stubbles still left on here. But the point is when you push down on it, it leaves. Now there's a little space. Okay, so that's what I want to use. Now I can use different things. I just grabbed this. I have it beside me. It's right now. It's just holding a little charm. You can, as you can see, you can see through this. Okay, so if you were to put whatever you want to put in here for your charms to make this a talisman, if you want to put a bay leaf, or you want to put any of the things I mentioned, like acorn or mustard seed, or you know, anything, any kind of herbs you want in here, herbs of protection, whatever it is that you choose for your spell, you put in here. And then as you can see, when I close it, you can see it, but it will fit really nicely in here. Okay, one of these little, you can buy these little bags anywhere, like a party store, little gauze bags. But the truth is, you can see through it, okay? So if you don't want to see through it, I just took a little piece of felt, and I cut that just kind of to fit it a little bit more so that it tucks in. I can make it smaller. I could even, if I wanted that to be permanent, if I wanted to put a little bit of hot glue or something in there just to keep it permanent. But as you can see, because it's big, it kind of just stays, okay? And then it could close. And nobody can see what's in there. You can put your spell, whatever you want for your spell, and nobody will see it, okay? So you can do that. An alternative is you can just simply put your things in here and then cut this to fit if you want to, and just keep that. You can, again, with a little touch of glue, then nobody would ever be able to see what was in there. If they did open this up to borrow your mirror, if that was fitted, it would just look like, you know, it would just look like a case, the bottom of a case. Or you could use a bag that is, you know, doesn't have anything you can't see through, okay? So in that case, put your items in here, close it up, fold it up so that it fits, and again, tuck in all the edges. Get it as small as you can. You would do this neater if you had really a spell in there. But you have a lot of room in there. There's a lot of room. It's still flush with the top, you know, because it sticks out. And then you can put that in there, okay? So I hope I've helped you with some of these things. But before I sign off for the day, before I finish, I want to ask you, I want you to ask yourself, is the magic what is important to you, or is it important to you that people know you're doing magic? And I'm trying to be really sensitive about this, but I really want you to think about it. It's an honest question. Because sometimes we get so caught up in being witches that we really love to be witches. I mean, we love the whole idea. You get, and especially this time of the year, it's very cool to be a witch. The closer we get to Samhain or to Halloween, it's really cool to be a witch, right? And to have witchy things around you. And I've even shown you how you can really fool people right under their eyes. I've showed you how to take. I did a video on how to take ordinary jars, like pickle jars and olive jars and things, and paint them and put labels on them that sound really Halloweeny, but actually have the real item inside. Like I really have graveyard dirt, cemetery dirt inside that, or I really have dragon's blood inside that jar. And it's funny, you know, people don't even think to look inside. They think it's Halloween decorations. And just like Christmas trees or Christmas lights, you can just forget to take those down. You can just leave them on your cupboard if you want to. For a long time, people won't even notice that you have them there. Okay. I want you to give it some thought. I don't want you to worry about waiting for the right time to do your magic. I don't want you to worry about waiting. There's never a better time going to come for you than right now. The protection is what you need right now. And you can't afford to wait until it's a better time. You just need to be smart about it, and you need to be, you know, a little bit creative about it, and you will see this channel, and I'm sure lots of other channels are going to offer you a lot of ways that you can be creative, and you're not going to call attention to yourself or to worry that you're going to be under somebody's scrutiny, or you're going to have to be singled out as being a witch if that's not what your intention is. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped. As always, I am Rebecca, and I wish you blessings.